If you're a woman over 60, your body is quietly losing muscle up to twice as fast as it did before menopause. Even if you eat the same foods and walk the same streets, you may not see it in the mirror yet, but you can feel it every time you move. Suddenly, the stairs in your own home feel steeper. Carrying grocery bags from the car leaves your legs shaking. Getting up from a low chair or the edge of the bed takes more effort than you want to admit. Maybe you've started reaching for the handrail more often, or you avoid certain outings because you are afraid of feeling weak, or worse, of falling. And you know what happens when an older woman falls. One bad fracture, one long hospital stay, and independence can slip away into wheelchairs, long corridors, and nursing homes far sooner than anyone planned. Here is the hard truth. After age 50, we lose about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass every single year. By 70, that can add up to 30 or even 40% of the strength you once had. For women, falling estrogen speeds up bone loss and muscle loss at the same time. It is like your body is aging in fast forward, even when your mind still feels 40. But there is good news. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you 5 simple things you can add to the coffee you already drink every morning that can help your body start rebuilding strength. These small changes can support you in regaining 10 to 15 pounds of healthy muscle over time, so you feel steadier on your feet, more confident on the stairs, and better able to stay in your own home without depending on everyone else. And pay close attention, because number 5 is the one almost every woman ignores. Yet it may help keep your thigh muscles strong enough to keep you out of a nursing home. Most mornings, you wake up already feeling a little behind. Your lower back aches before you even sit up, and your knees feel stiff until you take those first slow steps toward the kitchen. Maybe you move quietly so you don't wake your husband. Or maybe you tiptoe around toys because you're helping watch the grandkids. You pour your coffee, the one small ritual in the day that still feels like it belongs to you. And then you rush into everything else. You skip a real breakfast because there is too much to do, or because food feels heavy that early. You've spent years eating tiny bird portions, trying not to gain weight, not realizing that eating too little is part of what makes your muscles melt away. Coffee becomes the only consistent fuel you get before noon, even though your body needs so much more now than it did at 40. Part of this isn't lifestyle at all. After menopause, estrogen drops sharply, and with it your bone density and muscle strength fall faster than you expect. Your bones become more fragile, your muscles shrink more quickly, and the same everyday movements suddenly demand more effort. Women over 60 face a far higher risk of hip fractures than men. Not because you are careless, but because your hormones changed the rules without your permission. It's not your fault. Your body simply shifted into a stage no one prepared you for. And beneath the surface, the fears run deeper than your family ever hears you admit. You worry about becoming a burden to your children, needing help with simple things you used to do without thinking. You fear that one day you won't be able to pick up a grandchild who runs toward you with open arms. Some days you feel your role in the family shrinking, as if you are turning into someone fragile, someone who has to sit and watch instead of join in. You feel embarrassed when you have to stop to catch your breath on a sidewalk or rest halfway up a flight of stairs. You don't want anyone to see you as weak, and yet you feel weaker than before in ways you can't quite explain. Have you started avoiding stairs because your legs feel shaky halfway up? Have you told your friends, "I'm fine," while quietly worrying that one bad step could send you to the hospital? Have you pretended you weren't tired just to keep up appearances? You are not imagining it. You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you're certainly not alone. Your muscles work a lot like a savings account, especially after 60. Every night while you sleep, your body pulls from that account to repair and rebuild. But when you wake up and give your body nothing but plain coffee and a few bites of food, you're starting the day on an empty balance. Muscles need steady fuel to stay alive, to burn glucose, and to keep your balance steady with every step. When that fuel never arrives, your body quietly withdraws from your muscle bank just to keep you going. And over time, the account runs dangerously low. But here's the part most women don't realize. Your morning coffee isn't the problem at all. In fact, it can become one of the most powerful tools you have for rebuilding strength. The problem is what's missing from it. Most women drink coffee that wakes them up but does nothing for their bones, nothing for their muscles, and nothing to protect them from the rapid muscle loss that speeds up after menopause. When you add the right things to your morning cup, it stops being just a drink and becomes a small daily muscle ritual that tells your body, "I need strength, not weakness." So let's begin. Let's start with the first simple change you can make tomorrow morning. The one that quietly gives your bones and muscles what they've been begging for all this time. One of the simplest and most powerful changes you can make to your morning coffee is adding a splash of unsweetened almond milk. That small step gives your body two minerals women over 60 desperately need every single day: calcium and magnesium. When your coffee becomes a source of these nutrients, you're no longer just waking up your mind. You're waking up your bones and muscles too. For women, protecting bone strength is not optional after 60. When estrogen drops after menopause, your bones lose density at a much faster rate, almost like they are thinning from the inside out. This is why women face a far greater risk of hip fractures than men, especially if they've had even one fall before. And muscle loss makes this cycle worse. Weak muscles lead to unsteady steps. Unsteady steps lead to falls. Falls lead to fractures and long recoveries in hospital rooms that no woman ever wants to see. Your muscles and bones are deeply connected. When one weakens, the other follows. That is why giving your bones the minerals they need first thing in the morning is one of the smartest things you can do to stay strong, steady, and independent. Science backs this up in a very clear way. Just 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk offers around 450 milligrams of calcium along with a helpful amount of magnesium. Calcium supports your bones and helps your muscles contract properly. Magnesium helps those same muscles relax, reducing cramps, tightness, and that aching stiffness many women feel when they first get out of bed. And because lactose intolerance is extremely common in American women over 60, almond milk becomes an easy, gentle alternative that gives your body what regular milk often cannot. Using it is simple. Replace half a cup to a full cup of dairy milk in your morning coffee with unsweetened almond milk. If you enjoy a softer, comforting flavor, a tiny splash of vanilla extract blends beautifully without adding sugar. Think of it as a morning ritual. As your coffee cools, Let your bones drink first. Every sip becomes part of your healthy aging routine, supporting muscle and bone health in a way that feels effortless. A small note of caution. If you have kidney issues or have been told to limit calcium, it's always wise to talk to your doctor before increasing calcium-rich foods, even gentle ones like almond milk. But once your bones are supported, there is another hidden threat to your strength that most women overlook. Because even strong bones can't help you if your blood sugar quietly eats away at your muscle. Another simple addition to your morning coffee, just half a teaspoon of cinnamon, can make a remarkable difference in how your body handles glucose after 60. Cinnamon is one of the most studied natural ingredients for stabilizing blood sugar. And when you add it to your daily coffee, it can help improve insulin sensitivity, support muscle function, and protect your long-term health in ways most women never hear about. This tiny habit helps your muscles pull in glucose more efficiently. So instead of causing damage, that glucose becomes usable energy. Many women over 60 are surprised to learn they can be thin and still have high blood sugar. You might weigh less than you did at 50, and yet your waistline feels softer, your belly feels fuller, and your lab tests show creeping glucose levels. This is the classic skinny fat pattern, and it's extremely common in post-menopausal women. When estrogen drops, insulin becomes less effective, meaning your cells don't respond to it as well as they used to. As a result, more glucose stays in your bloodstream, where it is stored as belly fat instead of going into your muscles. And the more glucose floats around unused, the faster your muscles shrink. Muscle is the main place where your body cleans up extra glucose. If your muscle cells aren't receiving it, that glucose starts harming the very tissues that keep you independent: your muscles, your nerves, and your blood vessels. Science shows exactly how cinnamon helps break this cycle. Cinnamon contains a compound called cinnamaldehyde that makes your muscle cells more responsive to insulin, like opening the door wider so glucose can finally enter. When glucose moves into your muscles instead of staying in your bloodstream, your energy improves, your risk of inflammation decreases, and your muscle tissue gets the fuel it needs to stay strong. Cinnamon also helps smooth out glucose spikes after meals, especially breakfast, which is crucial for women who often eat too little protein and too many simple carbs in the morning. And because uncontrolled glucose is a silent pathway toward type 2 diabetes, nerve damage, vision loss, and even amputations, stabilizing it is one of the best long-term protections you can give yourself. Using cinnamon is both easy and enjoyable. Stir half a teaspoon into your morning coffee and let it blend into the warmth. If you like a gentle sweetness without sugar, cinnamon adds a comforting flavor that supports a healthy aging lifestyle. You can also sprinkle a bit on oatmeal, Greek yogurt, or a protein-rich breakfast. The key is consistency. Cinnamon is not a one-time trick. It is a small daily habit that compounds over time. Every morning you use it, you are quietly protecting your muscles, supporting your metabolism, and lowering your long-term risk of blood sugar complications. If you are on diabetes medication, it's wise to monitor your glucose as you begin using cinnamon, and ask your doctor if you should adjust anything. And avoid very high amounts, as too much cinnamon can place stress on your liver. But even if your glucose becomes perfectly controlled, your muscles can't grow if your stomach can't break down the protein you eat. That's where the next ingredient comes in: Ginger is one of the most overlooked tools for women over 60, especially when it comes to rebuilding muscle. Adding just 1 teaspoon of ginger powder to your morning coffee before breakfast can help your stomach break down protein more efficiently, reduce bloating, and make sure the nutrients you eat actually reach your muscles. For many women, better digestion is the missing link between eating well and feeling strong again. Digestion changes with age, and it affects women differently than men. Many women in their 60s and 70s eat breakfast later in the morning, or eat very little protein because it feels too heavy after an early cup of coffee. Others take medications that make the stomach more sensitive, slow digestion, or create a lingering feeling of fullness. Even when you try to eat healthier foods, your stomach may not process them the way it used to. The result is frustrating. You eat, but your muscles don't receive the protein they need. Instead of being absorbed and used to rebuild strength, that protein sits in your stomach longer, causing heaviness and discomfort while the muscle loss quietly continues. Ginger helps break that cycle. It contains a natural compound called gingerol, which stimulates the digestive system by increasing the movement of your stomach and intestines. Gingerol also helps your body produce more digestive enzymes, allowing protein to break down faster and more thoroughly. Clinical studies show that ginger can significantly speed up the rate at which the stomach empties, reducing nausea, bloating, and that uncomfortable brick in the stomach feeling that many older women experience after meals. When digestion moves the way it should, protein gets to your muscles sooner, which means more strength, better recovery, and improved energy throughout the day. Instead of food sitting in your stomach, it finally becomes fuel. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 72-year-old widow who lived alone and came to see me a few years ago. Every morning she made herself a simple breakfast, eggs and toast, because she had heard protein was important. But no matter what she ate, she felt bloated and uncomfortable afterward. Her stomach hurt, she felt gassy, and by lunchtime she didn't want to eat at all. Over 6 months, she lost nearly 17 pounds. But it wasn't fat she was losing, it was muscle. Her arms looked thinner, her legs felt weaker, and walking up the street to her mailbox became exhausting. Her daughter noticed she was moving slower, talking less, and losing confidence. When she came to my office, she said, "I'm trying to eat right, but my stomach just can't handle it." I suggested something incredibly simple. Add 1 teaspoon of ginger powder to her morning coffee before breakfast. 2 weeks later, she called me sounding almost shocked. Her bloating was gone. Her stomach felt calm for the first time in months. 3 months after that, she had regained 10 to 12 pounds of healthy muscle. She walked her dog again, took longer routes around her neighborhood, and told me she finally felt like herself. What changed wasn't her diet, it was her digestion. Using ginger at home is simple. Stir half a teaspoon to 1 full teaspoon of ginger powder into your morning coffee, your tea. If your stomach is especially sensitive, begin with just a 1/4 teaspoon and slowly increase over time. The warmth of the drink blends well with ginger, making it easy to turn into a daily habit. If you take blood thinners or have a history of stomach ulcers, talk with your doctor before increasing ginger, as it can interact with certain medications. Now that your body can actually use the protein you eat, let's give your muscles and your brain the right kind of fuel. Another powerful way to support your strength each morning is by adding just 1 teaspoon of MCT oil to your coffee. This simple addition gives your body fast, clean fuel that your muscles and brain can use almost immediately. Instead of feeling sluggish, foggy, or drained before the day even begins, MCT oil helps you feel clearer, steadier, and more capable of doing the gentle strength work that protects your muscles as you age. Many women over 60 tell me the same thing. I'm tired all the time. Even on days when you sleep well, you may still feel your energy dipping before you finish your morning routine. And when you're tired, you naturally move less. You avoid bending, squatting, lifting, or walking longer distances because everything feels heavier. That lack of movement accelerates muscle loss, especially in the legs, and makes everyday tasks feel harder than they should. What most women need is not more caffeine, but a source of energy that goes straight to the muscles and brain without the crash. Something that helps you power through a few minutes of gentle resistance exercises right after your morning coffee. Just enough movement to tell your body, I still need these muscles. That is exactly what MCT oil does. MCT stands for medium-chain triglycerides, a type of fat that digests differently from the fats in most foods. Instead of moving slowly through the digestive system, MCTs go straight to the liver, where they are quickly converted into ketones. Ketones are a fast, clean energy source your muscles and brain can use immediately. Research has shown that MCT supplementation can improve muscle function, support cognitive health, and increase overall energy in older adults. Unlike long-chain fats, MCT oil is far less likely to be stored as body fat when used correctly. It gets burned quickly, which is why so many seniors feel more alert and more physically capable after adding it to their routine. Once you have that boost of energy, you can use it to build strength in a way that is gentle, safe, and incredibly effective. And one of the best ways to do this is with a short, simple morning routine. While your MCT coffee cools, do this 3-move sequence that takes less than 2 minutes but signals your body to maintain and build muscle. Start with chair stands. Sit on a sturdy chair and stand up without using your hands if you can. Aim for 10 to 12 repetitions. This move strengthens your thighs, hips, and core, areas women lose strength fastest. Then move to wall push-ups. Stand arm's length from a wall. Place your palms against it and lower your chest toward the wall before pushing back. 10 to 12 of these build upper body strength without stressing your wrists or shoulders. Finally, finish with heel raises. Hold the back of the chair lightly, lift your heels, and rise onto the balls of your feet. Do 10 to 15 repetitions to strengthen your calves and improve balance. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't need to change clothes. These tiny moves, done daily, tell your body, I still need these muscles. Don't shut them down. Over time, this little ritual becomes one of the most protective habits you can create for your legs, your balance, and your long-term independence. To get started, add 1 teaspoon of MCT oil to your coffee. If your stomach tolerates it well, you can slowly increase to a tablespoon. Because MCT oil can be rich, it's best to take it with a small breakfast, something with protein, to avoid stomach discomfort. If you have gallbladder issues or a very sensitive stomach, begin with an even smaller amount and increase slowly. Fuel and movement together are powerful. But nothing prepares your legs for the day like better blood flow. And that's where the final ingredient comes in. Cayenne pepper may seem like an unusual addition to coffee, but for women over 60, a tiny pinch can make a remarkable difference. Just 1/8 of a teaspoon added to your morning cup can increase blood flow, especially to the legs and thighs, areas where many older women lose strength first. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your muscles, and that support can lower your risk of falls, improve stability, and help you feel more confident with every step you take. Thigh muscle mass is one of the strongest predictors of longevity in older adults, especially in women. When your leg muscles weaken, everything in life becomes smaller. You go out less because walking feels harder. You avoid sunlight, leading to lower vitamin D levels, which then weakens your bones even more. With weaker bones and weaker muscles, the risk of falls rises sharply, and with it the danger of fractures, particularly hip fractures, which can lead to long hospital stays, loss of independence, and in many cases, permanent mobility changes. The cycle is cruel. Less movement leads to weaker legs lead to more fear, and fear leads to even less movement. Supporting thigh strength and circulation early in the day is one of the most powerful ways to break this cycle. Cayenne helps by activating a compound called capsaicin. Capsaicin stimulates TRPV1 receptors in the blood vessels, helping them relax and widen so blood can flow more easily. When circulation improves, your muscles receive more oxygen and nutrients, allowing them to work better and recover faster. Cayenne also reduces the stickiness of platelets in the blood, helping it flow more smoothly, and may gently support healthier blood pressure levels. Many women also notice less joint stiffness after using small amounts consistently, because improved circulation helps reduce inflammation in the hands, knees, and hips. For something so small, Cayenne has an impressive impact. Margaret, a 68-year-old woman who worked part-time at a local library, experienced this firsthand. She had always enjoyed being active, walking with her friends, gardening, browsing farmers' markets, but slowly began feeling unsteady. One evening, she stood up from the kitchen table too quickly, felt a wave of dizziness, and fell hard onto the floor. She wasn't seriously injured, but the fear shook her deeply. She began avoiding stairs, skipped her evening walks, and stopped gardening altogether because her legs felt weak and unreliable. When she came to see me, she said, "I just don't trust my legs anymore." I suggested she add a small pinch of cayenne to her morning tea or coffee and combine it with 5 to 10 minutes of gentle walking throughout the day. 2 weeks later, she reported feeling less tired in the afternoons and said the dizzy spells had nearly disappeared. Within 1 to 3 months, she was walking with her friends again, tending to her garden, and even helping organize book displays at the library without needing to sit down constantly. Her confidence returned piece by piece as her legs grew stronger. What changed was not just her muscle strength, it was her circulation, her energy, and her belief that she could stand firmly on her own 2 feet again. Because cayenne affects the circulatory system, it's important for women to use it safely. If you are taking blood thinners such as warfarin or aspirin, have severe acid reflux or stomach ulcers, or struggle with very high or very low blood pressure, talk to your doctor before adding cayenne or ginger to your daily routine. A simple question you can bring to your appointment is it safe to add a small amount of cinnamon or cayenne to my coffee with my current medication? If you're ready to try it, begin with just a pinch, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, and increase slowly if your stomach tolerates it well. Small but consistent amounts are far more effective than taking too much at once. This gentle daily habit supports your legs, your balance, and your long-term independence. And now that you've learned all 5 additions to your morning coffee, it's time to pull everything together and show you how to track your progress, stay motivated, and build real strength you can feel. One of the most encouraging parts of rebuilding strength after 60 is being able to see your progress, not just feel it. Many women underestimate themselves, believing they're weaker than they truly are. Tracking your progress gives you proof that your body is responding, your legs are getting stronger, and your efforts every morning are paying off. Seeing improvement, no matter how small, creates powerful motivation to keep going. Here are 3 simple at-home tests you can do to measure your strength over time. The first is the 30-second chair stand test. Sit on a firm chair, cross your arms over your chest or place your hands lightly on your thighs, and stand up and sit down as many times as you can in 30 seconds. This test measures leg strength and endurance, and it's one of the clearest indicators of fall risk. Count your number and write it down. The second test is the 10-second balance test. Stand next to a counter or chair, lift 1 foot an inch off the floor, and try to hold your balance for 10 seconds. If you need to touch the chair lightly with one hand, that's perfectly fine. Balance strength improves slowly, but consistently when you nourish and train your muscles each day. The third is what I call the grocery bag test. Notice how heavy your grocery bags feel today. Pay attention to how steady your legs are as you carry them into the house. Then check again in 4 weeks. Many women are surprised by how much lighter those same bags feel after building even a small amount of muscle. To stay motivated, connect these tests to your morning coffee ritual. Write down your starting numbers on a sticky note and place it near your coffee maker. Every morning as you add your almond milk, cinnamon, ginger, MCT oil, and cayenne, you'll see that note, a reminder of where you began. After 4 weeks of your coffee boosters plus the mini strength routine, repeat the tests. When you see the progress with your own eyes, you'll know your body is getting stronger. One morning at a time. You've now learned the 5 simple additions that can turn your morning coffee into a daily muscle-building ritual. A splash of almond milk gives your bones and muscles the calcium and magnesium they crave. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon helps stabilize glucose, especially for women who feel skinny fat despite eating lightly. A teaspoon of ginger prepares your stomach to digest protein so your muscles actually receive the nutrients you work so hard to eat. MCT oil energizes your brain and body, making your mini strength routine easier and more effective. And a tiny pinch of cayenne boosts circulation to your thighs, supporting balance, stability, and confidence with every step. Together, these small habits create a powerful foundation for healthy aging. And here's the message I want you to hold on to. It's not too late. Your muscles still respond, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Every morning you choose to support your body is a vote cast for a stronger version of your future self. You are not locked into weakness. You are not destined to become fragile. You can shift your path, 1 cup of coffee and 1 small action at a time. You are moving from the image of a frail grandmother to a strong, steady woman who stands confidently on her own feet. Let me say this gently but clearly. You're not done yet. You still deserve the strength to pick up a grandchild, to take a trip with friends, to kneel in your garden, to participate fully in your church or your women's club, to live your days with dignity and energy. You deserve a body that supports the life you still want to live, and your body is ready to meet you halfway the moment you begin showing up for it each morning. Before you go, I want to prepare you for the next step in your strength journey. Your morning coffee can set the foundation for stronger muscles, but what you drink throughout the day matters just as much. In the next video, I'll show you the one simple thing to add to your water that can help you stop wasting muscle as the day goes on. Think of it as the second half of your routine. Coffee supports your morning strength. Water protects your strength for the rest of the day. When you combine the two, you create full-day muscle protection that keeps your legs, your balance, and your confidence steadily improving week after week. If this video gave you hope or helped you understand your body in a new way, I invite you to subscribe. This channel is built for women like you, women who want to stay strong, steady, and independent. And I would love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which of the 5 will you add to your coffee tomorrow morning? Your answer might encourage another woman who feels exactly the way you do right now. None of us walks this path alone. There is an entire community of women over 60 building strength one morning at a time. May your mornings be calmer, your legs be stronger, and your heart more confident each week. This is Secrets to Health, where every day is a new chance to rebuild the strongest version of you.